Hello, my name is Marisol and welcome to my channel. I am a recently new mom to baby Leo, and I wanted to talk about some of the things that really took me by surprise in post-recovery. So let's just jump right into it. I have my phone here. I might look down a couple times because I have a whole list of things that I just didn't expect, and I'm gonna try to stick to the list. That way I do not ramble on too much, and let's just get started. So first thing I want to mention is baby showers. Now, first and foremost, I just want to say beforehand, I love baby showers. I had a baby shower. I love the idea of these beautiful nurseries and all these gadgets that help moms. Believe me, I have a swing that is a godsend. The baby goes in there, knocks out, my hands are free. That's great. But if I'm honest, for me, baby showers are very much like Valentine's Day. They are traditions that are used for society and the market to make a really good dollar, because a lot of the baby stuff is one, overpriced, and if we're honest with ourselves, moms, they're not necessary. The baby needs to be fed, the baby needs to be changed, and the baby needs to be clean, and they really just need their parents. Honestly, you don't need much. All these things, all the money that you put into having a baby shower, and then all these gifts are really not what you need when you bring the baby home. And so with that said, what moms and parents really need are mom showers or parent showers, whatever you want to call them. And I know that I'm not the first person to say that. I'll stick to the moms just because the baby definitely needs both parents. All the supportive husbands and partners out there, shout out to you guys. You guys are necessary. But for the first couple months, the baby definitely needs the mom the most. And so what your girl needs, if you guys have any moms to be and you want to really give them a gift that they need and will use and will help them, go on Groupon and get your girls vouchers for teeth whitenings. Go to Macy's, get your girls gift cards for new bed sheets because the baby is gonna destroy them, okay? And who has time to brush your teeth as a mom? I'm gonna tell you right now, that's another thing. I never really thought that was like a real thing when moms used to be like, oh my god, I don't even have time to brush my teeth. I was really like, come on, when the baby sleeps. But you know what? When the baby sleeps, you have choices, right? You are either able to sleep, eat, brush your teeth, or maybe fix something in your house that needs organizing. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, the person is either gonna eat or sleep. There's no time to brush your teeth. So get your girl some teeth whitening vouchers, okay? What else can you guys get your moms to be that will actually help them? Uber Eats, gift cards, things to order in, vouchers for cleaning service. Really, these are the things that people need help with when they bring the baby home. They don't need 100 onesies for newborns that people will never even see them in because people can't really see your baby for 2 months. I mean, I have my list of things. What else do they need? They need gift cards for massages. Maybe some alcohol because your parents are gonna need some wine. Maybe a gift card for a date night because they need a break. They're the things that parents really need. You need to buy things that really are gonna help them survive the first few months of bringing a newborn baby, because it's hard. It's really harder than people say, okay? Anyway, next thing on my list that really took me for a loop. Sleep deprivation. I never knew how real sleep deprivation was until I brought the baby home. And I don't know if you guys are night owls and you think that you could just wing this through. No, that's not how it's gonna work. I mean, people have told me time and time again, oh, sleep when the baby sleeps. Stop telling your friends that, guys. Yes, I get that it's coming from a good place, but I could not sleep when my baby was sleeping because a mom instinct of protectiveness and this crazy anxiety just like comes upon you. And the first month is the hardest, really, because when your baby's sleeping, you want to make sure that they continue breathing. I kept telling myself, I have to keep this little human alive. And obviously, maybe that sounds so crazy to some people, because that's how I thought before having a baby, before being pregnant. I just felt like everything was always over dramatic when people would describe what it's like to have a baby. And I thought, oh, I just wing things maybe, or it's probably not that hard, or my baby would be different, or no, these are real things. People cannot brush their teeth. It's insane. Even something as simple and necessary as that becomes a luxury. And yes, sleep deprivation is crazy real, and this is why your friends need you, because moms need to sleep, and you can't sleep if you're home alone with the baby and you feel like nobody's watching the baby while the baby's sleeping. How am I gonna sleep? So if you guys can be there for your friends while they really nap so that somebody can watch the baby all the time, do it. And people will say, oh, that's not realistic. Yes, it is. Because once you get a routine going, eventually your mamas will be comfortable enough to take naps while the baby's napping, and things can go back to normal, so to speak. Okay, next thing that definitely surprised me in post-recovery was the healing process. Listen, I watched so many YouTube videos about what to expect when bringing the baby home in the recovery process. I have an app on my phone that would send me all this information, all these tips, just informing me about what happens with your body. But you can read and read and read all you want, and it does not click until you're in it and until you're actually experiencing it. And I could not believe how painful it was to come home and recover from giving birth. And I had a vaginal delivery. I had a 2nd-degree tear, and I just never in a million years expected to be in so much pain. I'm so grateful that one of my girlfriends gifted me a Frida box for post-recovery. I don't know what I would have done without that. There is bleeding involved, and there is swelling involved, and you know, you expect that. But really, if you want to compare it to something, new mothers coming home from just giving birth is like a person having an open gunshot wound and then still having to take care of several people and go through life while bleeding and aching and feeling like the life is being sucked out of you. Obviously, I've never been shot, but I feel like that's a really good example. I hope it makes sense, because the pain is really, really crazy. Nobody tells you that you won't be able to sit down, that really another gift that you should give your new mamas is probably those donut pillows, because you can't sit down. For a long time, I couldn't sit anywhere but my bed, which was again painful because I was almost stuck and glued to my room. And once you're inside for so long, you just go stir crazy, and obviously you want to go outside and you can't because you're afraid that you can't sit in a normal chair. So that surprised me, that I wouldn't be able to sit down. And imagine not being able to sit down and being exhausted, sleep deprived, and having to feed your baby. So that was surprising, realizing that it's gonna be painful to use the restroom for all this time. All the ice packs for the healing that nobody tells you you're gonna need. You're gonna need a lot of ice packs. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna help you the most. Nobody tells you about the sitz bath that you might need. And if you don't know what that is, then definitely Google it. It's called the sitz bath, and it helps with soaking to heal the lower area. Nobody tells you about that unless you're really looking for it. And it was suggested to me by a friend, thank God, who is also a new mom. If not, I wouldn't have had any idea about that. What else? This just sounds like so TMI, but this is the truth. People obviously tell you you're not gonna be able to have sex for a certain amount of time, but really, again, that's another thing that doesn't really click until you're going through it, because your healing process might take longer than what doctors are saying. And you're not only dealing with a physical healing, you're also dealing with obviously mental, because giving birth is a little traumatic. It really is. And everything in your life is changing. Who you are as a person is also changing, and these are just things that people don't warn you about. And I feel like if people were more open, maybe we'd have less postpartum depression, because then you'd be able to mentally prepare for how your life is really going to change. It's not just changing diapers and feeding a baby. No, everything in your life is going to change. Personality, what you like, what your routine is now, how you get ready in the morning, doing your hair, how you interact with your husband. Those things do change, but they don't have to change for the worst. And again, the reason I'm doing this video is because if people talked about it, really talked about it, then people could be more prepared. And I wish somebody just would have been a little bit more honest with me about those things. A lot of mothers' untold stories need to be told, because being able to go through this healing process, being in this state, your body just feeling like it's being hit by a truck every hour of every day for this period of time, and then having to jump into normal life. I mean, these women are really superheroes, and the whole process of giving birth to life is really, really miraculous. Okay, let me go back to my list, because I'm already rambling. I chose to breastfeed my baby. I did not realize how much work breastfeeding was. I mean, breastfeeding is an entire job in and of itself. Okay, girl, if you have got the best electrical breast pump or the best manual breast pump, no. It doesn't matter how good your breast pump is. It doesn't matter how expensive it was. It just doesn't matter. There is still so much work having to assemble it and then clean it and then sterilize it, and then waking up at 3 in the morning to have to pump because your breasts are engorged. Like, no, nobody told me it comes at 3 in the morning, right after you put the baby down and you're trying to get some sleep, but you can't sleep because now you have to pump, because if not, you feel like your chest is literally gonna explode. Nobody told me about that. And I love breastfeeding. It does get easier. You do get a routine. You do get used to it. It is an amazing bonding experience with the baby, but it is also work. It is work. Another thing that surprised me was the hormones. Now, a lot of people talk about hormones in pregnancy. You don't know how many times my husband would come home and he would tell me how his boys would be like, "Oh, how's Marissa doing? Is she okay?" Like waiting for me to freak out. Luckily for me, throughout pregnancy, I don't feel like I had a huge mood change. I was very happy pregnant, so thank God I did have a very good pregnancy. I don't have any complaints. I was a really happy person while I was pregnant. I was just so excited about meeting my baby boy. But I feel like the hormones hit me after I gave birth. And so when you're pregnant, obviously your body is changing and all the hormones in your body are changing because you're growing this life inside of you. Once you give birth, now your body is going through another transformation and it's trying to bring it back to normal, and you're trying to get a balance because obviously you're not having this baby anymore and your uterus is now contracting again back to normal. I didn't think about this. When I got home after giving birth, so many things started changing. One of them being sweating. So I did not anticipate how much I would sweat, because you also pee a lot because all the water weight that you're carrying to hold this baby, you have to release it. I didn't know that your body also releases it when you sweat. And I was sweating profusely. I know that sounds disgusting. I'm grossed out by myself. This is why it was upsetting that I didn't know that I was supposed to be expecting this, because I would wake up in the night with the sweats and it was disgusting, and I would have to change sheets, and who has time to do all this laundry? And then also while you're sweating, for me, just being concerned about feeding the baby, because now I'm trying to cool off and I'm trying to dry off and I want to feed the baby, but I don't want to feel dirty, and just these things that you don't think about. With the sweating, what also changes is your body odor. I did not know my body odor was going to change. Just anticipate you might need to change your deodorant. It's just what happens. You're changing as a person, and I guess why not your smell? I don't know. Another thing, this is probably a TMI, but this is real and this is for the ladies. Just know your boobs are gonna be uneven. I nurse Leo on both, and I am very consistent to make sure I'm alternating because I was afraid of being uneven, and I'm still struggling. I'm still trying to work on it. One breast might be bigger than the other because it might be more full, and I've read that it's because your baby also might favor one breast. So I don't want to scare anybody. I just want to share these things, obviously, so people can be informed and have a better idea of what it's really like. But the last surprise I do want to leave you with, to leave this video on a positive note, is the bonding with the baby. It really is crazy how mother instincts come through, and not just mom, also dad instincts. Just, I guess, being a parent, because when I was pregnant, my husband and I would always joke around, and he would always say, I'm not gonna be able to change a diaper, it's gonna stink, it's gonna be so gross. And now he's like, yeah, I'll change the diaper. Like, he's just so involved, and he stepped into this dad role 1000%, and that has been beautiful to watch. And just the connection that you're able to make. Your baby can be taking a nap, and if you're breastfeeding, as soon as your baby is opening his eyes, you might start leaking because your body knows your baby is hungry. That is amazing. Like, that constantly blows our mind. Like, just knowing when the baby's hungry. Being completely in love with this little person that has his own destiny, his own personality. It's just amazing. You cannot explain the love of a parent. It's mind-blowing. Being able to experience it for yourself, it's really, really the best surprise, and it is what allows mothers to continue giving birth, even though the recovery is extremely difficult and extremely painful. You do forget, and having your baby and making this bond and having all these moments and making these memories, you just say to yourself, at least for me, I would do it 100 times over to have this little person in my life. I would for sure do it. Now that I do know, I know how hard it's gonna be, I know how frustrated I'm gonna be, I know how miserable I'm gonna feel, but I would still do it 100 times over to have baby Leo in my life. And I just want to leave this video with one thing. So many people gave me so much advice when I was pregnant, and they kept saying it is hard, it is tough, and they always would kind of smirk like, you'll see, and they wouldn't tell you the full story. But I remember one girl told me, it is hard, but you can do it. And that's what I want to leave you guys with. Yes, it is very difficult, but it's something that you can do. It's something that women were made to do. Your bodies know what to do when it comes to giving birth. It knows what to do when it comes to healing, and you can get through it, and we're built strong enough to get through this. So don't be scared. Just be as prepared as possible, and be prepared not so that you can be filled with anxiety and fear. Prepare yourself mentally so that you can go through things gracefully and you don't become bitter because you have to deal with all this maybe back pain or everything else that comes with it. Just know that you're gonna get through it. You're gonna be able to heal 100% and continue on with this new journey and this new person you're becoming. And I don't want people to be unhappy about going through such a hard time because they were unprepared. Anyway, I hope that this somehow helped inform some people, even if you're not planning on having a baby, just maybe gaining some understanding. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed talking about it. I feel like I can talk about this for ages. If you have any questions or want me to get into detail about something specific, please let me know in the comments below. Please let me know what your experience was, if it was easier or harder, or even if you have some tips for me as a new mom. I would love to hear it. Believe me, becoming a new mom is like going back to school. I just feel like I'm learning something new every day, and it's really putting so much into perspective for me. I know that probably sounds cliche, but it's true. Alright, I hope I see you back here for my next video. I still have a lot more to share, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye!